You're like so much more like this than I even feel like.
Yep.
Well, that's nice. All right, everybody, another coaching video here. I'm about to give a lesson. Oh no, I'm about to get a lesson because we're bringing in a little bit of help. You may know this guy. We're gonna work on, I wouldn't say it's his signature shot, but very effective at driving the third and a little shuffle drop fifth to make sure he gets up to the kitchen. So I'm just gonna hit a couple, work on some drives first. He's gonna coach me, and hopefully in like 10, 15 minutes, I got this down. So here, you hold these.
All right, drive and drop, let's go. Good eye.
Woo.
Watch that ball.
I don't need balls like that.
Are you sure you need a lesson? You're pretty
Well,
good.
I do need a lesson. I do need a lesson.
Okay.
I'd call that out.
First thing is, definitely don't be popping up as you're hitting. Whatever, however low you are, stay that low throughout the whole shot.
So drive looks good, you think? Keep that?
Let's see it again. I think you have exemplary drive form.
Okay.
I would say though, on the drop, if you're hitting it behind your body, then you don't really want the paddle to be like horizontal exactly. So horizontal and dropping the paddle face is more for in front of your body like this, or side can be kind of the side of your body. But if you're kind of contacting it behind your body, I like to kind of cock it upwards a little bit. It kind of gets around the outside of the ball more. There's a little more dwell time with that than just kind of the regular horizontal drop. And this also really helps if the ball's a little bit behind you and you actually want to hit it from here to the deuce court or the right side. It's really helpful to get around the outside of the ball. So I'd pick the wrist up a little bit more. I definitely would not be really like dropping it if the ball is contacted behind your body.
All right. Am I moving too far in? Is that why the ball's getting behind me? Or is
No, you're actually moving to the right place, but I will say if you're not hitting with this kind of grip that gets around the outside of the ball, it's harder to come in. So if you can come in and do this, you're good. But if you struggle to do this, which we'll see in a second, then you would probably need to stay like half a step to a full step further back.
Just don't hit as good of volleys maybe too?
Yeah, that might help you. Don't open early on the drive, stay closed longer.
Okay.
Nice. And then I'd say it's still kind of horizontal if you can pick it up, nice. And then it's also quite an open paddle face for what you're trying to do with it. Not that it's bad to hit kind of a loopier drop, but I'd say kind of beyond that 45 degrees is where you start to lose some paddle area to even hit on. So it's overly open at the moment.
I'm too open.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not so much a slice. Like if you're opening it that much, it looks more like a slice than it does a drop. Okay. So the thing about a shovel drop is you're definitely presenting like full paddle face to the ball.
Present early.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. That one looks really good. Yeah, that one's very under it. I'd say if you want to hit it a little bit lower, you probably can. And I'd say the best adjustment for that is still probably flattening it out a little bit more. It doesn't need to be that open. That open I would do more when the ball is kind of more behind your body. If it's in front of you, you're not naturally going to hit it further up anyway, so you don't need to have it that far open.
Am I like forcing it sometimes to like shuffle? Could I just be sometimes moving in front of it?
It's more like you could do either one, but if you are going to open your wrist fully like that, like how I kind of hit it, it needs to be further behind your body. Because if I do this, this is faced flat. This is faced way further open.
So if I'm doing it, it's got to be behind.
The whole idea of flexing your wrist like that is to enable a very far behind your body contact point. But if you're not doing that, it's not going to work.
Do you have further back so you can get in easier? Or is that just where the ball goes?
It's a combination. So you get in faster, yes, so you're a couple steps ahead. For me, it's also that if I do cock my wrist like that, it's at a maximum. So I often try to get to maximum wrist tilts for myself because those never change. Like it's always going to be the same every time. I don't have increased mobility once I get to this point. It's maximized. And then whatever that maximum is, I can then replicate it over and over. That's the idea of creating the maximum. then the reason I contact it so far behind is if I'm at this maximum, it has to be that far behind me in order for it to be a good shot.
So consistent contact point.
Yeah, it just makes everything more consistent. So I create that maximum in order to be more consistent.
Ball slowed down, lower point too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'd say if you're gonna open it that much, that maximum like I am, you can still contact it actually further behind your body, which it definitely looks a little weird, but it does work. Yeah, so that's still actually contacting it early.
Is it? I felt like I was like,
yeah.
I felt I was like 3 ass cheeks behind. Ugh.
Yeah,
It's
but don't flick the wrists.
It's so weird.
Yeah, just let it go through. That looks right. So you see that one's more linear because you caught it further behind your body.
Oh, all right. Jeez, these bounces.
Yep, that's the one right there. You got it. You got a new trick in the bag.
Give me one more. Oh no.
And the good thing is it also works not only behind you, but also out to your right as well.
Okay.
You just gotta, instead of kind of laying it back, you gotta lay it more up to get around it outside of the ball.
Will you always go this way?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Nice. Looking good. Looking fully awkward.
Will you hit one for me?
Yeah.
Show me what it really looks like.
If I can hit a drive.
You're like so much more like this than I even feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Would you have done that, or would you have half volleyed that one normally?
I would half volley that.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that. Also, we aren't really on the best surface, but we're making do. Nice. Ah!
And then, I mean, backhand is more simple, it's more self-explanatory, but then the one straight at your body is more of just I still call it a shovel. It's just straight ahead of you. Very simple, present full paddle face. You just got to contact it again kind of far behind, because if you go out to get it, it's going to go pretty high.
Straight up.
It's hard to miss that one as long as you're contacting it close to your body.
Anything else?
Let's see. I mean, you kind of got it really fast. You are what some players might call a natural.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna blush. So when I mean, you drive, I'd say you drive more balls now than you really used to, but is it because you have this in the bag, you feel comfortable? You hit the drive, you get a
It's certainly
easier
nice.
fifth?
I like to have the idea of, so I mean, a lot of people either commit to like aggressive drives or a drive and then a drop preemptively. I feel like having this shot kind of enables you to go, okay, I'm gonna hit it aggressively and look for an aggressive ball. But if they do hit a good counter to where it kind of gets behind me, I have like a bailout shot.
You have a backup.
That'll just save me. So it kind of gives you both options at any given time.
Does it take some like decision making out of it from like, okay, I'm gonna get a return, I'm gonna drive it, and then I'm gonna chip it? Or are you making that decision when the ball's coming?
So I base the initial drive decision on how kind of where the return is at and how good it is. And then my follow-up to it is definitely based on how well I feel like I hit my drive. So there's some situations, often actually, where I'll look to be driving and closing. But as I'm hitting the drive, I either kind of realize that they're probably going to get a good counter on it, or I didn't hit a good enough drive, something like that, where then I can resort back to the drop and kind of hitting it more behind my body. But for me personally, I'm usually looking to be offensive with the drive and the follow-up. But there are certainly some scenarios where it's just a basic drive and then use this wherever, depending on if it comes backhand, straight, or here. I just have kind of my normal drops afterwards.
I teach a lot of people that have good thirds, are good players, but they get tight. And so I think I may, hey, if you're a little bit tight on hitting the third, hit this, and then you're getting to a maximum on a ball that probably has less than most returns have on them these days.
For sure. I mean, that's kind of the general philosophy behind a drive and then a drop. I would also add that when people get tight, they tend to kind of swing out of their shoes in the drive. It's kind of a bailout. It's like, it's all or nothing. That's not really the philosophy you want. It's more like hit that drive, and if you're tight, your opponents are often tight as well. Their follow-up ball is probably not going to be that good, and then it should be relatively easy drop even if you're tight, especially if you kind of stick to the stuff where it's very simple. It's very either in front of you here or behind you here, like make it hard for yourself to miss. And yeah, to kind of accentuate one point is usually when you're tight, like when it's close in a game, they are too, so drives actually get better because they're not as communicative with their partners, and they struggle to counter drives more because they're not taking as big a swings.
All right. Well, hey, man. Much love. Easy.